Hey, world. Being with it back live this evening. What's going on out there? Excuse me. Everybody good? Everybody enjoying this beautiful day? What's good out there, family? Oh man, today's Sunday. Of course, it's uh, Memorial Day Eve. I guess you would say. I guess the actual holiday is tomorrow. But you know what I find very very interesting is that I think there's been some discrepancies on the meaning of Memorial Day. I think we've been getting it mixed up with Veterans Day. You know, there's two different days and they have two different meanings. Okay? Memorial Day is supposed to be for those veterans and U.S. soldiers that, you know, lost their lives in battle. And I'm sorry to hear that, you know what I'm saying? May the Most High inside, okay? For your husband. Uh, you know, that's the day for those who no longer here. You know, I'm watching some of the television today, and you know they having retired veterans on there, and they have a lot of veterans on there, and I'm like, Memorial Day is supposed to be for the holiday for the you know the veterans that died, you know the soldiers that were killed in battle, you know. Uh, yes, no doubt. You know, it's honoring your husband. You know, the one who's no longer here with us. You know, Veterans Day, I think in November, that's honoring our current and present day veterans. You know, and so I just want to make sure that you know we understand that because you know a lot of men and a lot of women lost their lives. You know, in a lot of these battles and a lot of these conflicts. And this particular Memorial Day, you know, like I said, my uncle, you know, my grandfather, you know, so it's a lot of, you know, people that lost their lives in battle, and that's what Memorial Day is. Now, me personally, you know, when we look at, you know, the situation with the family members of those that were lost, um, now we can actually, if you really want to commemorate, you really want to give honor to the veterans that lost their lives on Memorial Day, you know, let's make sure that everyone understands it. I mean, you know, it's not taught in school anymore, you know, and so even the teachers, a lot of teachers don't even have a clear understanding. So because once again, those who control information control perception, and so they lose, you know, the true meaning of what Memorial Day is about and who it's supposed to be commemorated. It's memorializing, you dig? And so it's unfortunate that that's happening, but you know, that's just another way that things are, you know, done, you know, without a real, true, genuine spirit. Me personally, I think that, you know, if it's going to be really a situation that they're going to recognize our veterans, you know, for their service and the ones that lost their lives, you know, compensate the family more. You know, I mean, there shouldn't be any family that lost their husband or wife or family member, you know, especially spouses, you know, to conflict, you know, just to come to the house and you know, with your nice uniforms on and tell them that their husbands or wives are no longer here, you know, I think it should be more done. You dig? I mean, when we got, you know, we give $16 billion to the farmers because of a tariff that the president placed on China, it's kind of like, how are you going to place a tariff on a country that you know is going to affect farmers here directly? You did? And say, oh no, don't worry about it. We'll give y'all $16 billion. Whoa, wait a minute. We have families that are still suffering right now because of the loved ones they lost. As you know, earlier as the Afghanistan war, Iraq war. See, and they don't put that on the television. They're not letting, you know, giving us the true numbers of those whose lives have been lost. And so Memorial Day, you know, don't just say it. You know, I think it should be more done. You know, I mean, we understand money doesn't exist anyway, so why not extend more of a, gratitude? And that lets me know that the true, you know, nature of gratitude really comes from the family members of those who's in the service. I mean, I just can't see it when veterans that come back from conflict and they are either foreclosed from the homes, or those who come back with as amputees, have amputees, amputations rather, PTSD, a lot of medical problems and issues that when they come back, it's not truly 100%, recognized and accommodated for. And I don't think that's cool either. So, like I say, family, make sure that, when you understand what's going on, because the real holidays that should be really recognized, like Memorial Day, okay, like Veterans Day, because these individuals have families, and to be living on a base, a military base, and then you have to leave your family on a military base while you go and defend this country. Come on, man. There should be more of an accommodation, and so it should be more of an educational situation where people understand the true meaning. I mean, you shouldn't be watching the television and honoring veterans that are alive right now. Remember, they're still here. Memorial Day is for veterans that lost their lives, okay? And so I wanted to definitely make sure that's clarified, and so those have clear understanding. And like I say, if you want to really, show gratitude, what I'm saying? Look at some of these families that lost family members, husbands, and spouses in conflict, and see what that's about. Those are the real GoFundMe's, if you ask me. All right. So, Fed, I wanted to hit that, and hope everybody had a good day. Also, I wanted to say, for those that are, that are pregnant, that are having babies, right now they saying that Congress trying to pass a maternity bill where it's going to give, women additional 6 months paid leave. Right? Sounds great, right? Sounds like a gracious thing to do when you look at the fact that other countries, they off the whole time, paid, and the husband. You dig? This is happening in Europe and a couple other countries, and so for us to just be so content with having, and to even have that be an issue or option, because like I say, I teach and have teachers having to really clock up those sick days and clock up those times so they can be off and have the baby and have that, I think they give them like 6 weeks off. Come on, man, what's that? Okay? And so right now Congress is looking at drawing up a maternity bill, where it will give women, moms, 6 months paid leave. Right? Great, right? It's going to always be a catch. Well, the catch is this. They're going to require that the mother lengthen her retirement by 6 months. Come on, man. Think about that. No, we want you to be off and be with your baby and nurture your baby because we think it's important, because, studies have shown that when the mother is off with the baby, for 6 months, off with the baby on maternity leave with the baby, studies have shown that the baby develops better, or that the baby has a better nurturing understanding, that the baby does better educationally. Okay, so we know we want to get this bill passed, but they have to pay it back. Okay? They have to pay. They're going to require that you lengthen your retirement for about 6 months, or you pay back what you was paid on maternity leave, huh? Okay, and this was actually coming from what's her name, Senator Ursula. I'm watching that today. So like I said, they're gonna spit a lot of truth out there. That's why I don't totally discount the television, because that's why I looked at the title. See, there are the real actors. See, there are actors, and then there are the real actors. Those people that you see on screen, actors, singers, quote unquote stars, those are only the king's gestures for the corporations. See, anything that they do, it's always going to be commercials. And so it's happened to, we get it twisted. DG, what's up? Minnesota in the house. We get it twisted. We thinking that, celebrities and stars are the, actors. Come on, man. You can give anybody a script that you write and tell them, this is how I want you to say it. This is how I want you to, act it. Okay? That's easy. You can get anybody to do that, right? Those are not the real actors. Those are just the people that are used to have you guys buy stuff to become better consumers or more, advocate consumerism. You did? And so when you're talking about actors, come on, man. The real actors are the politicians. So that's why you got to be watching on certain things, because they're going to let you know the agenda, what's going on. But with the minutia of stuff that they talk about, you got to be able to differentiate between the stuff that's going to actually affect you and the stuff that's not. See, when they start talking about the abortion bill, when they start talking about global warming, all the kind of stuff, the fear tactics, see, that's the stuff that kind of keep you occupied mentally, and emotionally. But when they start talking about, we're going to give you guys maternity leave, 6-month maternity leave, okay? But then in the fine print, they tell you have to lengthen your retirement by 6 months, and you have to pay it back, or work 6 months longer, or pay it back. Okay, that's ridiculous. All right, and so those are the real actors. And so, why do you think the fake actors they become broke? Because when they can't trick the masses anymore, then they're useless. Because see, they got to make sure that the masses are fooled by what's going on. Okay? So it's crazy out here, family. No, so I got skills, huh? No, I know who did that. It was my skills. I'm left-handed. I got skills, but not like that. All right, I don't have skills like that. All right, but I'm going to have another portrait done that's going to illustrate. I'm going to actually put that and actually the person that done that, we're just sitting up, and they just sketched that out, and that's like what's it called? Charcoal. Okay, that portrait is charcoal, so that's just an easy sketch, just like that. Bam. So I'm gonna come back with another one, and put that up too. So I'm gonna release some information about the person who actually done that. She's an artist, all right. So I'm gonna be coming with some stuff. So anytime you see me with some artwork in the videos, that's actually my friend that does the art for me, and so she's gonna be putting that. I'm gonna be putting it up, and I'm gonna put the link down so you guys can check it out. Yeah, man, that's I've been taught to even do what they call perspectives. You dig? That's the kind of art skill that they teach you, and it's a pretty cool little thing, Yeah, that's me right there, man. That's Beans right there, man. Hold on, check it out. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't had a beard or the goey. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, but I know you guys are out there, and I know you heard about the North Korea situation now, all right? And so there we go again. So we got all these conflicts going on that's gonna, like I say, precipitate this, this military conflict. And remember, don't be afraid, don't get scared, and be conscious. Because name the time that the United States have been attacked by a foreign country. Not the PSYOPs, but some country that's actually attacked America. So when you continue to stay in fear, it's justifiable when they say, hey, we need to increase our government spending by $80 billion. And see, let's look at this for a minute. See, to understand macroeconomics, you have to understand that government spending, that's just another way of saying taxes. That's just another way of saying, okay, America, you guys need to spend more money because we need to increase government spending. See, anytime you hear stuff like that, and they say the American people, that's what that's about. Okay? The real actors, they are paid graciously to continue to trick the masses. And then the fake actors are paid while they can trick the masses. Right? Because see, when everybody stop buying Jordans, then nobody will worry about Jordans no more. But see, the brand is there because the masses are still tricked to buy a shoe that they know is made in China and probably worth only $2. And not only that, the humanity of the shoes that are being made by the people. Look at the conditions. Why don't people are going by Jordans on it? Why they don't look up a little research and find out what conditions are these people working in to make these shoes? Because remember, these are numbers of shoes that are all over the world. I mean, they got so bad they going back to make shoes that was at 95 and 94. I mean, I have students that they'll come to school with some Jordans on, right? Man, coach, check it out. I just bought some new Jordans. Well, you ain't bought nothing. Your mom and dad just bought them new Jordans, right? And they paid $400 for them. I'm looking at them. I'm like, hold on, man, it was 95. I ain't never bought Jordan, but I remember specifically in 95, they was only like $90, $95. $100 the most. I mean, in 95. But see, they come back and started putting them back in production, and people are still buying because if your parents were wearing them when they was young, okay, then of course it's generational. But imagine if your parents learned about the financial markets and how the financial markets work in regards to government spending, in regards to understanding inflation. They understood that, right? And then the kids understood that. Imagine that. They only cost $5 to make in China. Thank Daryl. $5 to make in China. See, that's cognitive dissonance. To continue to buy shoes that only made $5 to only cost $5 to make, right? They ship them over here, right? China, get they cut off of it, right? And then Nike will get they cut off of it, right? And then the King's Jesters, they'll get their cut of it. But see, the King's Jesters are the athletes, the celebrities. That's why when you see these people on the television selling makeup, selling all these products, they're King's Jesters. They're only there to sell products. Those are the fake actors. You dig? They are no longer needed when no one is going to listen to what they have to say or when no one's going to buy this product. Why you think they're bringing these old-ass actors back, okay, to do commercials for products? And you're looking like, man, hold on, they was on the big screen 20 years ago, or they was on the television and television shows, right? The shows you watch. And now they're on commercials. Why? Because they're trying to get you to buy stuff, okay? The fake actors. Remember, the real actors are the ones that's telling you, hey, I really care about the American people. See, the real actors are the ones that's lying to you saying they really care about you. The politicians. The ones that you go and pretend to vote for when they've already been selected. Okay? Because see, these individuals have been selected because of the oratory skills and ability to trick the masses. And when you can trick the masses, then you're going to get paid. Because see, by tricking the masses, you're making sure that there's no disorder, and you create order through chaos by fear tactics, global warming, we the abortion rights issue, okay, climate change. We need to do what's best for the American people. But every day in your life when you wake up, how many of these issues actually affect your daily living? Ask yourself that question. Okay? So the real actors family is out there to make sure that the masses stay tricked on what the fake issues are. Okay? And the real issues, y'all don't worry about that. Okay? So family, that's why I always say before I get up out of here, I want you guys to enjoy this day. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. All right, and get ready for this market crash because it's going to happen. Okay, North Korea, quote unquote, launching rockets, and the Democrats are saying, well, Trump, you need to be there, same thing they want, same thing they did to President Nixon. What did they do to him to get him out of office? It's so ridiculous. They want him impeached because he didn't give a hoot about North Korea launching little rockets. Now, see, like my brother said, they want to dumb down the society, but they want to keep the fear in it. Because why would you mention North Korea launching rockets and then all the Democrats are out there saying, well, we need to impeach Trump because this is serious. This is violating national security. We need to make sure Kim understands that he can't do this, and that, and the third. But see, old school cats like me were like this. Didn't we have a Korean War already? Because see, last I checked, when you have a war, somebody gonna win and somebody gonna lose. Now, family, just right next door to North Korea is South Korea. And there's a military base, a U.S. military base, right next door to South Korea. I mean, right next door to North Korea. North Korea has already been defeated by United States. I mean, this is Memorial Day. Okay, there were many veterans that died in the Korean War. Okay? And now they're talking about our national security being threatened by North Korea? Huh? Trump, like I said, about the real actors. Cats like myself, I'm like, wait a minute, man. I remember Trump from the 90s, right? And this notion that, oh man, Kanye West is a sellout, hanging with, he's trying to get up there hang with Trump. Trump is a racist. Man, get out of here. I'm from the 90s. Trump been hanging with the brothers. He been doing that. And all the Tyson fights, where you think they had his fights? Who you think he was with? Muhammad Ali, all those cats are with Trump. So, I mean, he's one of the best actors out there. I mean, this was set up from the beginning. This wasn't an accident. This was already in the making. They asked Trump about running for president back in the 90s. You dig? And so how was it set up to actually have the validity from the public? Because remember, when you dumb down the masses and have them believe the craziest absurdities, they'll commit the worst atrocities. Okay? Most people like myself in this age group, I'm thinking, it's like, huh? Trump president? And not from the standpoint, because I'm not political, but just from the standpoint of just consciousness, I remember the 90s, I remember Trump, so it's like, oh, okay, they validated him by that show, The Apprentice. That's how they did it. KY in the house, what's up? Come on, man, I did a post out there. Y'all, you didn't get my post? I posted and said D. Willie gonna go live at 7:45. I'm glad you're in the house, KY. Yeah, President Trump, man, come on, man. The real actors are the ones you least expect. But see, I didn't come to this assertion, okay, until Trump became president. I always knew it was something because I'm like, wait a minute. These cats, they say the same thing over and over again, to become congressmen, to become senators, to become presidents, judges and whatnot. The same things every year, and it's the same MO, right? They have the crowds out there that they pay, right? And people fall for it because why you think it's always on a television? Can anybody name me one political rally they don't went to? Or just know that where you just say, just went downtown or went somewhere and say, I'm going to go to the rally and see thousands and thousands of people? I ain't. You dig? And so I digress. Back to my point about these real actors. They validated President Trump. And don't get it twisted, family. This is some self-awareness, food for thought. This ain't no political bashing because I'm not political at all. This is just something that I think you can make better decisions all the way around if you know what the existence we're living in. I mean, you have to know this. You did? They validated him by The Apprentice show. They validated him by what? Putting some of the quote-unquote most popular washed-up stars on the show. People that, people still followed, right? And it's like, it's amazing because when you come out that matrix and that third eye open, you're like, wait a minute, man. How do people follow these people? Right? How? And then when you got those masses dumped down like that, people begin to say, oh man, and then you can kind of change Trump's persona. You're fired. You're fired. Right? You can kind of change that persona. And now when he says, I'm going to run for president, the masses, mind you, not the politically intelligent, but the masses are dumbed down people, and not to say that to say people are dumb. Don't get it twisted. But there is an ideology and an agenda that's out there that people were just totally cognitively dissonant about, right? And so that's why metaphorically it is a dumbed down agenda for the masses, okay? So, I mean, it's amazing that people don't understand that. It's just, there's agenda set out there to be set, and every time that it needs to be done, a certain individual is going to be put in office. Like when Obama was in office, they had a particular agenda, right? To go into Libya, to knock them out the box, to stay into Afghanistan and Iraq, all right? To do the bad and heinous things they did to those people over there in, Guantanamo Bay. You dig? So it's always an agenda set, and when you look at the particular, just the lifespan of how this republic, or used to be republic, was started, right? Then you got to understand it's been actors ever since. It's not an accident that, us as Afro-melanated people don't know Lewis Latimer, don't know Benjamin Banneker, just those type of names, should just, that should be common knowledge, right? So, when you talk about cultural appropriation has been misconstrued as well. Yeah. And the agenda. When Obama was in office, what was the agenda? Thank you, D. It was a gay agenda. Okay? Then with that, and now, why you think that there is a community? And that's crazy. If you say certain things about a certain person that says they are attached to a community. Now, last I checked, when did a community get this powerful? See, that's an agenda. And so if you think back, the first particular agenda of this type of social, economical perspective, meaning that saying something about this particular group can actually impact you socially and economically, right? And so now you're looking at, well, what about the First Amendment rights? What about my freedom of speech? Exactly. But see, that precedent was set a long time ago. Okay? That precedent was set a long time ago with what? That precedent was set in 1940s with World War II, with the Jewish occupation in Palestine, right? And so with that agenda set, we're going to send a particular group of people to an area and disenfranchise and throw another group of people out of there, then we have to have a justifiable reason that's going to be socially and economically acceptable to where if somebody say anything, it's going to be a problem. And what was that? Anti-Semitism. You can't say anything about that, right? And so now it's just understood, right? You will lose your job if particular groups or organizations, ACLU, Center for Foreign Affairs, it's groups out there that you will lose your job. Freedom of speech is an antiquated notion. Okay, so Now, what is the particular agenda now? Who can't you not say anything about now? The gay community. Which is, to me, how does that even qualify as a community where a person can't say anything about it? Because remember, your personal sexual orientation, don't you think that's something that should be personal to you? Right? Yeah. Nephew in the house. Who, me? I see you. And on that Walmart comment you just made, that's real. Walmart they're gonna raise prices on that fake tariff, family. So I would go buy my boys some goggles, for swimming and whatnot. And last year I only paid $6 for those things, $8.99 this year. Same goggles. Come on, man. You did? So, I digress. Back to those fake actors and the agenda. That agenda was set in the 40s. You got an agenda set now, family. And now, bam, we get into the crash. And what is Trump's particular agenda? To go in and say, no, we're going to do it this way. America first. And how we're going to make America first is by we're going to make sure China don't take advantage of us. We're not going to let anybody take advantage of us. That mindset, that fake nationalistic mindset that works with a lot of people in the South and a lot of people at these particular pro-Trump states, they don't even know that it's actually hurting them socially and economically. But if you say something about it, people are going to say, oh, you're not, you're anti-American. Well, they don't even know that they getting played. Farmers, come on, man. You're going to get $16 billion, right? But who you think that $16 billion coming from? From us, right? That's why I understand. You got to understand government spending. When they tell you, oh, guys, we're going to, President Trump said he's going to make sure he's going to give $16 billion to the farmers, to help offset the result of the tariffs. But see, do he tell you that $16 billion that you have to pay? Yeah. Get them emotional. Because see, when you get people emotional, like I say, let people believe absurdities, they'll commit atrocities. Okay? You create order through chaos in a system where you can actually take people's homes and take people's land if they don't pay taxes or if they don't, sign or don't understand certain paperwork that was given to them that was maybe 30 or 40 pages. And they thinking that they just paying $15,000 and come to find out it's $18,000 because they don't understand interest. And they get taken to court and lose their property. And that's why I say you don't own anything. Money don't exist. Your energy does. And you rent everything. You buy a home. Don't pay taxes on it. See what happens. You buy a car. Don't get a driver's license. Don't get insurance. See what happens. So that illusion of freedom has been tapped into the minds of people for so long by who? The real actors. Okay? See, when people going around, you idolize. See, that's the whole thing about idolatry. When they give you people to idolize, you lose your right frame of thinking. Your mental mindset is thrown. You're irrational now because you idolize them. Okay? Idolatry makes you make bad decisions. Who idolized Michael Jordan and you go buy $600 shoes or pay $1,000 for shoes because of idolatry? You dig? And so when you do that, the real actors can sneak in there, the politicians, because those are the real actors, and play on the masses. And so when you play on the masses, then it's a wrap. And that's why you got to really identify who the real actors are and who the fake actors are. Right? Every time you're looking at that actor or you're looking at you going to pay that $80 for that concert or pay that money to, back in the day, even myself used to go pay that money for them CDs. Right? Those were fake actors. Believe me, they don't just all of a sudden stop learning how to sing. You know what I'm talking about? They don't just lose their voice. Nah. We do the studies. We do the research. And research shows that your sales are down 20%. We got a young cat over here that can get the sales up to 100%. So we're gonna go ahead and shelf you and go ahead and put this other young cat out there and have the people love him and buy his stuff until he no longer can sell, and then he's out. See, these cats are all of a sudden can't play football, can't play basketball, can't sing, can't act. No, because it's fake actors. They have to fool the masses, and the real actors get you to pay FICA, pay Social Security, and then tell you in your face that Social Security may not be there in 13, 14 years. Think about that madness. Think about how cognitively dissonant that a whole nation, a population of people have to be to know or have real actors tell you that, hey, to the American people, we have to get him out of office because, hey, Social Security may not be here. And then you like, what? Well, we need to get another president in office. Another president in office, he don't say anything about it. But then you like, oh, okay, well, must everything be okay? See how you trick? Those are the real actors. Simple as that. So understand that the real actors are going to give you some truth. That's why they call real actors. And what's the truth? The truth is, you know what? We feel that the Federal Reserve is going to lie stagnant on raising interest rates right now because you know, the inflation rate is only about 1.6% and their target is 2%. Think about that for a minute, family. They tell you that the target is 2% inflation. They want inflation at 2%. And so in order to be able to do that, there are things that they can do and things that they do. That's how you know it's a Ponzi scheme. Why you think back in the early 1900s, the financially educated ones that were in America did not want a Federal Reserve System, did not want a central bank in America because they knew what it would do. They knew what it done to Europe and what it done to all other countries in the world. And so the financially educated people that was here in the past, they knew not to have a central bank. That's why they had to have that meeting at Jekyll Island in 1912 and 1911. Cat by the name of Aldrich. It was him and 6 other of the top bankers in the world met in Jekyll Island out there in South Carolina to draw up the plan, what they called the Federal Reserve Plan, or they called it, I think it was the Aldrich Plan, what they called it at first, right? And then they changed it to the Federal Reserve Bill, okay, because they knew the American public wasn't going to fly for that, right? So think how slick they did it. Like I said, these were the real actors, and they've been doing this since the 1900s. So when they was able to get the central bank system in order, and call it the Federal Reserve, which all it is a central bank, they were able to get all your money, get you off the gold standard, tell you that paper money is really money, right? And then tell you that in order for you to get this fake paper money, we need your energy. I'm sorry, we need you to work on a job. And in 20 years, 25 years, we'll give you Social Security, you know what I'm saying? We'll take care of you, right? And that's what they was doing, right? But guess what? In 1940, you could buy a crib for $10,000. In 1950, you can buy you a ride for $1,000, a new car. But how long ago was that? A long time ago. And what was that? Inflation. So if you add up that 2% every year on an average, and you notice in certain years it was 6%, 7%. Think about it during the Depression age, during the Great Depression, right? And so now there's flat interest rates right now. So what do you think they're finna do? They're gonna raise interest rates, right? And so these are the real actors. That's what I'm saying. You gotta understand how this stuff goes, and quit idolizing fake actors. Okay? Do your research. Okay? Understand interest rates. If they tell you in your face, man, it's, you know, we're trying to, you know, and see, when I say you gotta watch Bloomberg, you gotta watch stuff that, see, the real actors gonna tell you, they're gonna give you the real knowledge. The Federal Reserve President tells you, yeah, we want to get inflation to 2%. If you know what inflation is, that telling you that means they're gonna put more money in circulation, which is gonna drop the value of money, which price is gonna go up. So that means you got to pay more for items on top of the fake tariff. on top of the military conflict, where they're gonna say we need more money for military spending, because you know that's how it always go. And so, are you really checking how much FICA taking out? How much they taking out of FICA? That's what that means, family. That's why I say, in order to make sure you understand this thing, you gotta, like I say, try to make sure your energy is making sure your principal is protected on your fake money to get your wealth. Don't worry about no money. Get your wealth. You know. They tell you 2% right away. You need to be looking for banks that's going to give you over 2% for your money. And like I say, leave them credit cards alone. Because that's, once again, and you know what? Who that's a great, thank you, man. Who will advertise for the credit cards? The fake actors. Okay? And then the real actors will come in and tell you, hey, we got to do something about these credit card rates, right? But who do the real actors do? What they do? They bail out the banks that gave you the credit cards that you got from listening to the fake actors. See how this stuff go? And it's going to be another bailout. Okay? I mean, so, keep listening to the fake actors. And like I say, the real actor is going to bring it around full circle on you. You dig? And then you're going to have more money taken from you. So, what all being want to say, this food for thought is pay yourself first. Make sure you protect your principal. I mean, see, the real actors speak to the financially educated. They speak to the ones that they know, okay, listen, we done told y'all that 10% of United States citizens, only 10% of the wealthy, 10% wealthy are controlling 70% of the wealth. Okay, 10% controls 70% of the wealth. 1% controls 90% of the wealth. So, for you guys that want to get some wealth, get a little piece of the pie, we're gonna throw some information out there for you. Because we don't care about you. 2%, you're gonna have to pay that right off the top. Okay? So pay yourself first, and if you want to make your money, invest in us, because history shows if you invest in the stock market, the return is always going to be at least 9%. The return on the stock market is higher than any asset you can get. Simple as that. And so what does it entail? Doing a little research, increasing your financial literacy, and don't believe the fake actors, but listen to the real actors, because they're going to tell you what time it is. Okay? But how many of you guys are watching C-SPAN or Bloomberg? Okay? Fox News. So you got to watch them all, because it's two wings, two color wings of the same bird. Okay? When only 5 or 6 corporations own all of the media outlets, own all of information, 5 or 6 corporations, then the agenda is set for the masses to either get it from the right or get it from the left. You dig? So that's why, that's why they, after 2 terms, they in it to win it. They have their pension set for life, and they don't pay nothing. When they go to restaurants, everything is comped. They have 3 or 4 homes. They live in Washington. They got homes in Washington, New York. And then, like I say, we got a couple of here in H-Town. Sheila Jackson Lee, that cat that looked like the caveman from Geico. I can't think his name. Al Green. They in Houston, but they got cribs in Washington, because they always in Washington, you dig? But they got cribs here in Houston. But they don't live in the neighborhood. You know what I'm talking about? So, and Sheila Jackson Lee, she was at Miss Turner's funeral. Okay, anywhere there's a camera, she got to be there. And I'm telling you right now, it's really insulting to have politicians here, Afro-melanated politicians, that say they graduated from Yale and Harvard. And that's what I'm saying. They're just names. Listen to Sylvester Turner, the mayor of our city. Listen to Sheila Jackson Lee. Come on, man. That's illiteracy at its best. And these are real actors, because they can play that role, try to cater to the masses of those that are not too politically literate or know what's going on, that'll fall for that lie, and that promise every time. I mean, think about preachers. Those are real actors. Because why? Because they got non-profit organization. They don't pay taxes, right? And they control the masses. So you got the real actors. You got the preachers, the televangelists, and the politicians. The real actors. So you guys, you got the fake actors too. Okay? So fam, I just want to come with a little love, come a little food for thought. Like I said, if you watched it, you seen the title was, the Memorial Day understanding of what it really meant. And before I get up out of the garden, I want to reiterate for those who just got into the garden, it's like the true meaning of Memorial Day is not recognizing veterans walking around the street right now, not recognizing homeless veterans, but even though they should be in a better situation. Memorial Day is recognizing those who lost their lives in service, those who lost their lives from coming back over here after being in conflict. Okay? That big wall they got out there in Washington with all those names on it, right? And you would think, if you're going to really, truly, show gratitude and thanks to those many, many names that's on that wall, why don't you make sure that you financially take care of their families as well? I mean, simple as just, making sure that they can go to their wall at least 3 times a year, free. Y'all pay for it. Israel give billions of dollars. You did? So let me get into some of the comments. Let me see what's going on. I seen Bloomberg pop up on the screen. You did? Yeah. But yeah, man, that's so make sure that when tomorrow is Memorial Day, and like I say, make sure that you understand that those who've transitioned from the service of being in the armed service, the Air Force, Navy, Marines, like I say, Daryl Giles, you know what I'm saying? Big ups, you know what I'm saying? You a Marine. Just make sure that we understand those who lost their lives need to be, thought about, and not just one day. You did, but if that's what we're gonna give them, make sure we give them that day for those who are not here no longer with us. Okay? That's right. The retail apocalypse is going to definitely coincide with the use of robots. Guys, if you get into it, as you'll actually see. Let me get into it. No doubt. No doubt. Okay, well, I got to agree with you, man. And they're talking about a VA loan. No, man, VA loan, and they can still have their homes foreclosed on. Okay? Can't do that. That ain't cool. A free home, okay? No doubt. A free home. I like that, KY. Loans means debt. That's right. Free home. And let me ask you this. How do you put a price, how do you put a number on a veteran's life? I mean, how do you say to get them, and that's what I'm saying, these are real actors, family. How do you convince a young man at 18 years old, 19 years old, that we want you to get into the military and go to war, and we're gonna give you a free education and give you a house? Well, we're gonna give you a loan. You'll be able to get a house. Okay? You're qualified for a VA loan. So join the military and go there and give them your life. No, come on. That's supposed to be join the military, and you and your family are gonna be taken care of for the rest of your lives. I mean, the politicians are after two terms. That's right. How is it that the vets can be taken care of for the rest of their lives? And I mean taken care of. A free home, residual income. Whatever they was making, that's supposed to be 10, 20 times that. You can't put a price on their service. You can't put a price on it, because I'm telling you right now, no one has ever put themselves in a situation that these young men have ever been in. Never. And you can't, and I'm talking about I go back to the 60s and I'm thinking about the 40s and World War II and World War One. These were babies back then going to war. And I can't even imagine that type of trauma. I was a paramedic with the fire department in H-Town. I've seen trauma, okay? I've never been involved in a situation where it's been a traumatic situation where I would be one that could be killed. And to see that kind of trauma, I still think about some of the things I've seen in the fire department. That was back in the 90s, okay? And so I just can't imagine. And then you talk about these young men in Afghanistan and Iraq that come back over here. You talking about that? We're gonna give you guys, free a free round of golf, and we're gonna commemorate you guys for your service. Are you serious? No, every young man that's come back over here with any type of PTSD, with any type of injuries, and the ones that come here completely healthy should be compensated for the rest of their lives. And that's what I'm saying. The real actors, you got the masses tricked, right? Because you got the masses feeling that there should be a price on the lives of soldiers. And there never should be a price placed on the lives of soldiers. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people ain't even been in a fight, let alone having to learn how to shoot a gun, go to a foreign land, a land you don't know nothing about, don't speak the language, and be in a situation where you shooting and they shooting and you have no idea who the enemy is, no uniforms, and you have women and children. Now, come on, man. These young men are coming back over here with a type of traumatic situation that psychologically is unfair, and for them to not be compensated fully, their families can see it. And I'm talking about the soldiers. I haven't even talked about the families and the effect it has on the families. See, this Memorial Day, imagine all the families right now who's lost loved ones, okay? And all we're talking about is, Happy Memorial Day. You did? So it definitely have to be some changes, family. And I definitely feel that, these cats are some real actors, right? So let's put things in perspective, and let's make sure that we continue to keep your financial literacy up and going, because recognition is the only way you're gonna be able to maneuver your way through this minutia of fake actors and real actors. Okay? And see, now you're gonna have a different perspective when you watch the television. You're gonna be able to recognize who they are, right? Because see, the ones that are saying things that's gonna affect the masses, those are the real actors. And see, now you gotta say, okay, what's going on? And then these cats that's selling stuff, those are fake actors. All right? So, fam, I'm glad you was in the garden with me. I hope some information resonated with you. Like I say, there's a difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Much love to the soldiers who've transitioned, all right? And much love to the soldiers who've given their service and are still here with us in good health, and those who are not doing so well right now. You did? But in the meantime, between time, may the Most High Saudi bring you joy. And being willing is out of 5,000.